There are some days when you're like, man, it'd be awesome to go fishing. Then there are other days where you're like, man, this weather has bass written all over it. It is absolutely a nasty day here in North Alabama, dude. But dude, if there's one thing I've learned moving to Alabama, is that this kind of weather means one thing: the bass are going to bite. So we're gonna take old blue balls out on the lake with Mr. Bog. What's up, Bog? You ready to go fishing? I think you're gonna get cold, aren't you, bud? And always remember, my homies, practice safe bogging. Let's do a quick bait run through. I got Bog. He's my fish attractor, right, Bog? Ha ha ha. We're pre-spawn, spawn, staging, maybe a couple post-spawn fish, but our main target is sort of those pre-spawn and staging fish. So on the more finesse, slower side, I got a little Nichols Ned right there. That's an 1/8 ounce for fishing super shallow. Even in the grass, you'd be surprised how good that comes through. Gotta have a Gambler Ace. That's a 3/16 classic spawning bait. And then right here, this is actually a Dirty Jigs finesse swim jig, and I got a Komodo on the back of there. And these are what I'll pick up after I'm done using these guys. So I'll power fish my way through. Chatterbait, of course. I actually have on this guy, I got a darker one tied up. Burner worm, I can kind of slow reel that in the same place that I fish a chatterbait. And of course a 1/2 ounce Thunderhawk, and then a 3/4 ounce Nishine. So basically I'll cover water with those hard baits for the most part. I'm not actually always fishing them super fast either. You know, the water temps dropped a whole bunch, so I'm actually kind of slow rolling that chatterbait and slow rolling that trap over the grass. But then if I get a few bites, I'll drop my power poles, because we're fishing shallow water. It's the spawn, right? And that's when I'll pick these guys up. I can fish that finesse jig, that finesse swim jig, super shallow, super slow. I can drag around with these. And I even, in the back behind me, I got a big old glide bait. The water's super clear, so it's a perfect opportunity to bust out that glide bait and see if I can get a big one to commit. Fish on. Not a great big one, but we will take her. Got skin of her teeth. On the old silent Thunderhawk. What the fuck, man? On the old, see the old lift and pull, baby? Get in here. I think I missed a bite before we caught this one too. Dropped them power poles. That old chatterdonker strikes again. Nice one. You know, I got kind of a regiment that I use when I'm fishing these grass flats, and I'll start off with like a chatterdonker like this, but then down here I got a white chatterdonker. I have a trap all the time that's a 1/2 ounce and a 3/4, and then I got a little burner worm, and then I'll pick up that glide from time to time just to kind of go through the motions. And it's funny how they'll react to different baits at different times. He was right next to the boat, dude. And he come off. We started off fishing a little bit shallower, and what I'm starting to find is I think the cold temperatures, you know, these fish, when it's spawn time, they move back and forth so much based upon the weather, and this is what really seems to be key. Just a little bit deeper grass. You see how it shows up on the 2D than there on the structure scan? A little bit deeper grass, like 5 to 6, but what's interesting is it comes up to like 4 feet, 3 feet in some places. So interestingly enough, the water's super clear, but it's kind of cloudy out. And what I'm starting to find is, let's see if I got any left. I think I do, yeah. You know, you would think they'd want like a bright colored chatterbait, but I can't catch any on like a white and chartreuse chatterbait, which is like standard operating procedure. Everything's been on this kind of green pumpkin, and then I'm putting as a trailer, you guys probably saw a video about this, I'm putting as a trailer just a little spunk shed. This is the Chatterbait Mini too, so I'm downsizing because I can't get them to eat a regular chatterbait, but it's dark and it's downsized. And sometimes I find when it's cloudy, it's almost like night fishing. You go with like a darker bait, it's sort of counterintuitive, but that is what they're eating, dude. They will not look at a light colored chatterbait. Better one. Look how clear that water is, dude. Nice. Nice 3-pounder, old red-eye 3-pounder on the old chatterdonker, guys. Ooh, ooh, ooh. He's a big male, too. That's kind of interesting. He's peeing. He freaking smoked it. Nice one. Seems like there's 2 retrieves with the old chatterdonker that are working. One is straight out, super long cast, kind of rod at a 45, and just slow rolling it. Every once in a while, it'll kind of cling on the grass and I just pop it, but I'm trying not to move it like too erratically. It's almost like they want it like super consistent and they're just following it, and they just, I don't know, they close the deal at some point. Like it gets to them, it drives them like nuts enough where they're just like, ah, I'm just gonna eat it. What the hell? Like that one, that was a terrible hook set. Oh, did he come off? Oh my God, that was such a bad hook set. Wow, that was ugly in all kinds of ugly ways. Well, yeah, so just reeling it. Yeah, proof of concept. The other way is slang. Let's see if I can catch her again. Man, that sucks. I kind of let it sink for a sec, but then I'm kind of yo-yoing it just with very slow reels. I'm not ripping it. I'm lifting it. It's probably the best way to describe. So like lift, let it kind of settle. And I'm never like giving it totally slack line. I'm kind of giving it like semi-taut line to let it kind of dangle down, because there is quite a bit of grass down there. So I don't want it to go too far down, but I just kind of yo-yo it up and down. That one breaks my heart. But those are the 2 retrieves that are working. It's either one or the other. The ripping it deal ain't cutting it, but just kind of slow reeling it and then doing that lift deal. That's a better one. See how he just sucked it up? That's what I use, this 7-foot medium rod. It's actually the same rod I use for topwater fishing. And I do it because they do that. They'll just snatch it. Oh, don't come off, don't come off. Nice. And they'll snatch it, and if that rod doesn't load up right, they're just gonna come off, dude, because he was barely hooked. See how his eyes are red? That means they're coming in to spawn. Pretty cool, huh? Back you go. Oh my God. Eat it right on the lift, dude. I don't know if I got a good hook in him though. Now he's running straight at the boat. Just another absolute chunk. Dude, when you find them, they're active. But finding them and getting them to bite is such a workout. Once again, that chatter, Bog, take it easy. This is best as Bog. This is a nice golden bass, dude. It's the second one that dangled me like that. Felt him take it. They're running straight at the boat. That's a good one, dude. Get out of there. Dude, he freaking, there's a bunch out here. When they eat it, hey, take it easy on old bass fish. When they eat it and run straight at the boat on you like that, that means they're fighting for it. Yes, Bog, bass is your friend. I bet you don't like it very much. Well, we just got a call from some sweet girl, and we are going to have to wrap today up. She said, if you don't come home, I'm gonna sleep with him. And let me tell you, Bog may be cute, but he snores like a madman, dude. This is not ripping a chatterbait. This is something kind of different. It's a little more nuanced. It's a little more of a cold water technique, especially when you get those pre-spawn fish or those spawning fish that get kicked back. It's lifting it. You really aren't ripping it. You might have to pop it a few times to get grass or goo off of it, but you're just lifting it. It's almost kind of like spooning it a little bit, just a slight lift, and you kind of pause it. We talked about stalling a lipless. It's kind of like that, but in a much slower kind of fashion. But the big trick is I was using that mini chatterbait. Once again, I told you guys, I've been catching a bunch on it. It fishes like a trap, but it's a chatterbait. So it's all kinds of great things, right? Big key though is 7-foot medium rod. This is that Halo Rave. It's a 721, I believe, SLX, and 15-pound fluorocarbon. That medium rod, it just when these fish aren't smoking it, like I didn't feel half the bites that I got. It was all about the rod loading up and just there being weight, much like a jig bite that we always talk about, you know, that sort of dead weight where that rod just loads up. And that was really key. Otherwise, you know, we did miss some fish. What was really weird is they're running at the boat. Like when you found them, they were just darting around. It was kind of crazy. But try yourself some chatterbait fishing with this mini chatterbait and try that lifting technique, especially if you have clear water, cold water, kind of pre-spawn fish or fish that are spawning that get knocked back kind of a step before they spawn. I don't want to sleep with bogs, so I'm gonna go see Swimsuit Girl. Please, if you don't mind, if you're watching this video, a lot of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button right down there. I'll put links to all this stuff down in the description box. You can check it out at Tackle Warehouse or Monster Bass. We will see you next time out fishing or talking from the garage. Tight lines, guys.